So in my last video, I said there are two kinds of people in the world, right? The first, those that are living. Now the second are those that are existing. Now I'm going to ask you a tricky question. Which do you think you belong to? Now let me answer that question for you. So have you ever wondered why, right, a person passes, but you still hear people say, yeah, they live on, their memories will never be forgotten, we'll always remember them. These are the kind of people that impacted on people. These are the kind of people that their legacy is in the lives of others. They are those that lived lives, right, by serving their generation, by using their life as act of service. I don't know how many of you knows Dr. Miles Monroe. I would never forget that man in a hurry. He always have a way of impacting people, helping people. Like his messages alone will take you from where you are to where you want to be, honestly. So even now that he's gone, I still remember him because of the kind of message that he preached. Something really happened to me a few weeks ago, and it changed my life. Like my life has never remained the same since after that, because it made me realize that I have actually been existing. I have not been living. And that is the message I want to share with us today. So I was following Dominion City one of the Sundays. Comment below if that's a church. Dr. David Wade, yes, comment below if that is a church. So I was following his service that Sunday, and he was talking about purpose. But there's something he said that really caught my attention, and that was what changed like my whole narrative about life. He said that he was going to give us the reason of our existence, or the essence of life. He's going to tell us like your defense against death. Like if you don't want to die untimely, this is your key. The key to living a long life, or the key to avoiding untimely death, is living in your purpose. If you are living in your purpose, you will not die untimely. And that made me remember one story that a friend told me, because he was involved in an accident and we were all scared, because it was really a ghastly accident. Everyone was scared. But he came out from that safe. And one of the days I asked him, do you think like angels pulled you out? Like, oh, you think you're God's favorite? Like, how? Because everyone was surprised how he managed, and not even a scratch. He said that he is not done with his assignment. I said, what? He said he is not done with his mission. That is why God kept him. I never really understood that statement until that Sunday. Honestly, I was like, oh, is that why some people would be involved in an accident and then only them will survive? Or like you hear like, oh, there's a plane crash and then this person missed his flight, but he was supposed to be on that flight. So it made me realize that this is actually something that will keep you, from untimely death, or from any accident, or even like from someone terminating your life, because you are doing what you are called to do. So I'm going to ask you one question. Are you doing what you are called to do? Are you doing what you are created for? And after listening to that message, I was like, I don't think I've actually started doing what I was created for. In fact, the problem was, how will I even know what I was created for, right? Until after so much research, so much thinking, and then God helping me, like I came to realize that I have always had it in me. I was not really in that space where I told myself like this is it, until recently, after hearing that message, I told myself, see, I don't want to die untimely. I want to enjoy, I want to make an impact. Okay, I want to leave this world with someone saying, yes, that lady actually affected my life, or this lady actually did something that I will never forget. And so that is one of the reasons why you are seeing me here on your screen. God has already blessed you with so much talent, so much potential, like so many things you can use to impact in your generation. But I feel like we have not really, gotten ourselves to the level where we say, yes, this is actually it, because of the noise in the world, social media, everybody wanting to be someone else, pressure, and all of those things. So I totally understand. That message opened my eyes to so many things. First of all, it helped me discover who I was. I've always known that I loved teaching. I've always known I loved it. I can remember when I was in primary school, right? So I used to do this thing during our break time. I will gather my fellow pupils, and then we go to this store. It's an abandoned store, abandoned classroom. And so we pack all the chairs, all the desks, so we place them together. Mind you, all of them are broken, like they're not good. They will sit down, and then I'll start teaching them. It was so good that even when after some time the whole thing just come, scattering and all of that, but we'll just laugh, just enjoying the moment. God, I've forgotten how good that felt. It made me realize that I've always had it in me, just like you watching me, I've always had it in you. There's always that thing that whenever you do it, you're happy. Whenever you do it, you just feel like a kid again. There's this excitement that comes to you. One thing with this purpose thing is that it gives you responsibility. This channel that I open right now is like a whole responsibility, because you watching me right now, I owe you that responsibility to upload, to make sure that I'm giving quality content every single time. So it's a whole lot, and that is what purpose does. Purpose gives you a sense of living. You feel so much alive doing what you love doing. It gives you responsibility, especially when it comes to you serving your generation, which is exactly what I'm doing now. But the most important thing is that you must know your purpose so that you can serve humanity, because that is the true meaning of purpose. True meaning of purpose is you serving your generation, you impacting a life, so that even when you're gone, you continue to live on. Robert Greene called purpose, he said, his life's task. Dr. David called it the essence of life, but I call it the ticket to live on, because even when you pass, you continue to live on in the lives of those that you impacted it. I just said that. So to drive home the point that I'm trying to make in all this, purpose topic, right? I want to read out something. I want to read out somebody's testimony on how another man's life impacted on him. Not even his work, another man's work impacted in his own life. Now, so many of you know Robert Greene, right? He's one of the men I love listening to. So he said, Robert, I'm 20 years old and I'm from Mexico. When I was 15 years old, I had been a terrible student all my life. I had been expelled from 5 different schools, and I was really active, and I was a really active marijuana smoker and alcohol consumer. And I used to be involved in street fights. Okay. My first serious touch with a book was at that age, okay, when he was 15 years old. And it was with one of yours. I loved it. It gave me an engagement with knowledge as I have never felt before. It made me see knowledge not as an obligation, but as a world full of wonders. You aroused my curiosity. I read all your books at the time I was 15 years old, 3 times each. Okay. It was the perfect medicine for the right patient. At the time I graduated from high school, I graduated with one of the highest GPAs. I received the first place award in 5 models of the United Nations. I became a Mason, and I had the habit of reading 1 book per week. Let me pause right there, right? When I started this story, what was going through your mind? That this guy would never amount to anything, expelled from 5 different schools, involved in marijuana, involved in drugs, street fights and all of that, right? But now see what somebody else's work did in his life. Imagine if Robert Greene wasn't writing. Imagine if he wasn't living his purpose as a writer. This guy would have just wasted. Now that is what I'm saying, that if you are not living your purpose, if you are not serving humanity, if you are not serving your generation, honestly, you are not just harming yourself, you are harming a whole lot of people that you would have changed their lives. But let me continue right on. A year ago, I decided to migrate to the United States. Leaving everything, I had to pursue my dreams. I pay my rent, transportation, school, food, and all my expenses. I'm currently studying at a community college in California with a 4.0 GPA. majoring in biotechnology with the dream of transferring to UC Berkeley. No one had been as influential as you to help me find my life task. I will write a theory that I am developing about the progress of human civilization and the installment of a transnational government, and I will create my own company using CRISPR technology and gene editing to solve climate change. Are you seeing a whole impact? Oh my God, this is one of those testimonies that you hear in church and you be like, are you sure this guy is saying the truth? But that is his life. That is how he has gone from lost to found. And then he hasn't just gone from lost to found, he has also positioned himself to also find others. Imagine if he goes through with this, stuff he wants to create. Do you know how many lives that will be touched with this new technology? Let me just continue. So he said, thank you from the bottom of my heart for making me want to live a life of adventure and service for mankind. In other words, for teaching me the art of living. If this story hasn't concluded everything that I said today, then I don't know what will, honestly. I came here to share the story of how my purpose is what led me to be in front of this camera, and also to share a story how another man's purpose, which was Robert Greene, how his books impacted on this young man, and how this young man, right, was not just saved, he also went ahead to save others. Purpose in a single explanation is simply your ticket to live on. So if you are living here on earth by serving your generation, serving humanity with your God-given gifts, even when you pass, those impacts you made in the lives of people will continue to speak for you. Now that is as simple as that. I gave some example. I said Jesus is one of them. Miles Monroe is one of them. Even Apostle Paul was one of them. Apostle Paul is one man that I want to be like when I grow up. He single-handedly wrote the New Testament. Now, not that he wrote it alone, but at least more than half of the book was written by him. He single-handedly took the gospel across the nations. Those are the men that, even after they must have passed on, their impact or their services to mankind is what speaks for them. Now, comment below if you have like someone like that in your life. If you have, someone that that this person is not just existing, this person, is living. I've given you a testimony of how one of Robert Greene's book affected a young man, and his life changed from being a gangster, from being a chain smoker, from being a fighter, from being rebellious to this caliber of man that you are hearing today. So these are some of the things that you see, that yes, definitely I am living my purpose, or this person is living in his own purpose. So I'm going to ask you now, are you living or are you existing? Do you have your ticket to live on? What is your purpose? Are you living in your purpose? If you can be able to answer this question, just know that life is already making meaning to you. But if you are unable to answer this question, then you definitely need to watch my next video. In my next video, I simplified how to discover your purpose to the barest minimum. Like in 5 minutes, you will discover your true purpose, the reason you're created, your ticket to life. The most beautiful part is you already have it. You just need to, find it in you. And in that video, I'll show you how to find it. So you definitely need to watch that video, and I'll see you in that video. Bye.